February 12th, 2022. How's it going, guys? Got another video for you. Well, today I got to have some fun. I got to replace an idler pulley that exploded on me. And the tensioner and pulley should be always replaced if this happens. Now I'm going to show you what happened here. There's half, or the bearing, what's left of it. And there is the other part. Now this job takes several hours to do. It's nothing that you can do in 20 minutes. And you need to be aware that usually what I had is a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder. It's on, like I say, it's on a Suzuki Aerio 2004. It's been a very dependable car. Several weeks ago, started hearing a slight squeal. And we thought, well, maybe it was the power steering pump. And I figured it would get louder. And it did finally get louder. But several times I tried to check too to see if I could pinpoint this. And we were having a hard time. Now, hold on. Okay, I'm back, guys. Just like a doctor, the car is no different than a human in a way. This is basically a stethoscope, and then what you can do with this, you can actually go and touch parts of the engine. You can hear if you're getting squealing or rattling. Now these are really good if you got hydraulic lifters and you're trying to locate a lifter. It's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, or it's going bad. But it also can help you find, like I say, the bearings. But this thing was so sporadic on and off. It was a hard find on this one. And like I told my son, I said, it'll get louder. When you start to hear metal to metal, you're on borrowed time. And I just figured, it could be a day, it could be a few weeks, but it will happen and it will go. Anyway, guys, what I was going to say also, something to be aware of too, when you go to replace these, if you go to do it yourself, and even some of the new mechanics probably need to be rethought on this. This basically wheel comes in 85 millimeter or 90 millimeter. Now, I've had to do it all. I used to rebuild V8 engines, and I could rebuild a V8 engine in 3 days. Most times I didn't do the heads. I did all the lower end. I take the heads in, have somebody do the heads for me. Go get them, bring them back. In 3 days, the car is up. It's just like a brand new engine. But what got me about this, I could not find on this vehicle a spec between the tensioner pulley wheel and the idler. So what I finally had to do, I bought both sizes, and I mic'd it with a mic. And that's about the only way you can do it. And if you do get a used vehicle and somebody has messed with it and they didn't think about this and they did replace it with an aftermarket, you don't know if you're getting the right size. Now 5 millimeter, you might not think that's that much, but to me it is, because if you have wear and tear on the other components between your air conditioning, between your power steering, and alternator, it keeps a certain amount of tension on this, and there is a variable between that, but it's something to be aware of, guys. And like I say, always check to make sure. If you don't, get you a cheap mic like at Harbor Freight or something to mic it. Hold on. Okay, I'm back, guys. Now they make cheap ones, like I say, at Harbor Freight. You don't have to get a metal one. They're fairly cheap, and you can get them like that if you want to check that. And I definitely think it's worth your while, because you might just be asking for more problems if you don't get the exact match on that diameter. Some engineers might say it might not matter, but I really think it does matter in that sense. Last but not least, guys, like I say, don't forget to check your belts. This weather in the last, like I say, several months has not been the greatest on the vehicles too. So you might want to check your belts, and definitely, like I say, you want to make sure that they're not cracked, because if they're cracked a whole lot, you want to replace them, because other components can get damaged. But anyway, I mean, like I say, you don't have to have like a vehicle like I have. You could have any kind of vehicle, and you definitely should check your belts on that. And one other thing, guys, if you do have this 2004 Suzuki, and you guys still have one out there and you're driving them, if you have to remove the tensioner, you don't have to remove it says you have to remove the power steering and all that. You don't have to do that. Just make sure that you pull the upper motor mount bolt. You get like a pry bar, or I mean like a crowbar, and kind of space it out by about a half to an inch. There'll be enough room, but what you have to do, you have to remove that bottom bracket on the Suzuki. There's one going into actually the engine block itself, and there's two going across on the alternator. If you do that, you remove those three and you take that bracket out, only thing you have to do is just push that alternator all the way back, and this here, this will automatically drop out. Simple enough, guys. That was the only last thing I was trying to remember what I was going to tell you guys about. But anyway, just eyes open and have a good one.